Jurassic World Rebirth, and yes, I am posting this review very early. And no, I did not get invited to a press screening, though I would like to be invited to one. Hey, big studios? Hi! No, that's never happening. Well, I guess never say never, but, Anyways, I, really was not excited about this movie. Jurassic Park is, like, a franchise that really shouldn't be a franchise. I think we can all just say that now, because, like, you know, how many good ones are there? But they're a franchise that keeps running because the general audience, no matter how bad they get, just likes dinosaurs, and so they just keep making them. Which is kind of funny that the general audience just loves fucking dinosaurs, but yet they haven't really done anything to, like, just make new dinosaur movies that don't have to fucking be Jurassic Park. Like, why has no one tried to do, like, a Land Before Time live action remake? Not saying I want that, I'm just curious. Anyways, but yeah, I wasn't really excited about this movie because, I'll be honest, when I was doing my Jurassic Park series of reviews, I just realized, man, fuck. I thought, usually when I do these review series, they do enough of a job of getting me more excited about the new movies coming out, but I reviewed all those movies, and I just, was like, 2 of these are good. And one of them is great. I'm just not a Jurassic Park fan like that. And then also, I'll be honest, guys, I did think this really affected my enjoyment of the movie, too, and I'll talk about this in a minute. These franchises are not doing a good enough job of going away. And what I mean by that is, do you guys remember when The Force Awakens came out and everybody was so ecstatic who was a Star Wars fan to see that fucking movie? That's because Star Wars went away and we missed it. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I just bought a new Star Wars action figure today. It's on the shelf. I'm staring at it right now. I am sick of Star Wars to some degree. I'm not excited about it the way I used to be, and part of that is the fan base, but we don't need to get into that. But overall, I'm still not excited about fucking Star Wars like I used to be. And it's because there's just so much of it all the time that it's kind of hard to get excited the way I used to be. Doesn't mean I don't like it. Doesn't mean if it's good, it's good. I'll get excited probably again when that Mandalorian movie comes out because it's been a while since we've had an actual Star Wars movie in the theater. But still, Star Wars is something I love, but it's just not done a good job of going away for long enough for me to miss it. And that's the way I feel about Jurassic Park. That last movie came out, 2021 or 2022? I forget the exact year. And we have another one in theaters right now. Even though they told us that movie was the last one. It was heavily marketed on being the end of the franchise. And here we are with another one. The only thing that had me mildly interested going into this movie was Gareth Edwards directing it. Because I loved that movie. He put out The Creator. I liked Rogue One quite a bit, at least his direction anyways. I had problems with that movie, but overall I do really like that movie a lot more than I did when it came out, and I've kind of talked shit about it over the years, but really I think it's actually pretty fucking solid. And then you have Godzilla 2014, that was good too. So I just like his stuff, but still wasn't enough to get me excited. So what happened is I actually got invited by my boss, I work at a theater, to what's called a mystery movie. Some of the theaters do it. We just started doing it at our work. And he's like, hey, it's either Megan 2 or Jurassic Park. I kind of suspected Megan just because it was coming out Friday. And Jurassic Park comes out next Wednesday. It felt like they wouldn't show a big movie like that early. Especially since there would be spoilers out there. But nope. It was Jurassic Park. And I do need to do more of these Monday night mystery movies, but because I work at a theater, it's either I've already seen it or I've got tickets for an early screening or something like that. So I just never end up being able to go. But this is the one time I was able to go. Glad I went because now I got to see this movie early because we're going to be hella busy for this one. I'm about to be working during all that time, not watching the movie. So, and I can have this early review to talk shit about this movie. Let's start with what I like first before I just get into negatives, because there's a fucking lot. First of all, I really liked, I really enjoyed some of the direction here. I don't think this movie overall felt like a Gareth Edwards movie. Felt like more of like a studio mandated movie. But his direction did enhance the movie enough that it is worth noting. He clearly tried to go back to some of the roots of the franchise, roots quote unquote, where it's, you know, had a lot of like horror imagery, you know, in there. I don't think it was as scary as it thought it was, but, you know, it did an interesting job, some of the direction. Mahershala Ali and Scarlett Johansson are charismatic movie stars. They're charismatic here, and they're a lot better than the characters in the last movies. So, you know, like, the characters actually here do have, like, there's a couple of them, especially the one that's kind of the more nerdy guy. He was a fun character. I like Mahershala Ali's character. Like, there's characters that had depth, not like a huge lot, but enough to make them more likable, more interesting than the last characters. But yeah, that's it for the positives. This movie's just bad, and let me explain. Sorry about that. Yeah, the movie. Yeah, it's all negatives from here. Let's get into it. I will try to do this as little spoilers as possible, but I should warn you ahead of time, there might be mild spoilers. I don't think anything that will ruin the movie, per se, and I wouldn't recommend the movie, but probably anyone watches this review is probably going to have seen the movie. But anyway, I think the biggest problem with this movie is all the characters either have no reason to be in the movie. I will be right back. Sorry, my dog wanted to squeak her toy right now. And I was like, no, I'm Daddy's recording. Stop it. Look at her. She's looking at me all mad. Oh, God, dogs. You love them. Anyways. Yeah, it's just, so, like, first of all, the main plot of this movie, like, the reason the characters go on the island, which I'm not going to say, just in case spoilers. Again, I don't think it would ruin the movie if you knew, but whatever. They're just going to this island to get something, and they're all doing it for money, basically. And so you got a bunch of characters that are already unlikable because they're going on this dangerous mission where people might die only for fucking money. You know? The only reason that they're mildly enjoyable to watch on screen is because most of them are played by charismatic movie stars like Scarlett Johansson and what's the other guy's name? I said his name earlier in the video. I forget his name now. But whatever. Mahershala Ali. But you know what I mean? Like, that's why they're even remotely watchable, like, on screen. So, like, fair enough, I guess. But the other part of this movie is, while they're going to this island, this family ends up tagging along because they got stranded at sea. And the family is clearly just here to make the movie longer. It very much felt like Jurassic Park 3, where there are just so many, like, sequences of run from dinosaur, run from dinosaur, run from dinosaur. And it was just that the whole movie. And so, like, their whole reason for being in the movie didn't really make, they didn't make a lot of sense. Like, for example, there's a scene where this T-Rex is chasing them and it's swimming in the water, and it knocks over their air raft. Why the fuck would a T-Rex that just wants to eat them knock over the air raft and just not eat them? Oh, it's because you can't have the family die in the Jurassic Park movie. And then it's like, you know, at a certain point, the kid's underneath it and it's trying to get in and it's gnawing its teeth down. It's like, bitch, it's a giant T-Rex. It popped the fucking air raft and eat them. Like, the logic stopped logicking just because we had to have this family stretch out the plot. They're not even with the group, our main people, for most of the movie. And then they show back up so that way that when the helicopter comes, so they can escape the island, they can just make the movie longer. That's literally all they do this entire movie. I don't even know any of their names, nor do I care. Like, this family has no real dynamic. I didn't even understand which ones were, like, family members or not. Because, like, I kind of thought one was like, I thought it was a dad with two of his daughters, and then one's a son, but also I couldn't tell sometimes if it's just like, is that his son or his friend? Otherwise, the mom not there. Like, it just, I was like, okay, like, this is what we're doing. And it just was really like, okay. It just made the movie longer. And that's just, it just had no likable characters. And no, like, good story to it. So when they talk of, like, you've seen the people behind this movie talk about bringing it back to its roots. They're talking about that horror element from the first movie, which is that's why I used the quotes earlier. Which, yeah, that's part of it, but also part of the movie is having, good characters, good writing, and, a plot that's engaging. Like, and also I can't really feel scared from dinosaurs when nobody dies. There's actually a couple fucking people that die in this movie, and their deaths are just really brushed past and felt so cartoony because no one takes a minute to sit back and go, oh shit, that person died. Even characters that felt like they would have had an emotional attachment to seeing people die. And then and then it's like, the other part of it is, like I said, when you have goofy sequences like the air raft sequence, how can I be scared of these fucking dinosaurs when, like, they're just invincible at that point because you can't die because the T-Rex is just too dumb to eat you? It was just like, okay. I thought that so, I don't know, this movie's actually better than I thought it will be, though, I would say that. Not that I think it's good, but, like, those are Jurassic Worlds are pretty abysmal. I feel like, general audiences are definitely going to be more entertained with this one than the last couple, but at the same time, it's just bad. Like, there's, if you like dinosaurs, go watch this shit. You're going to go watch it anyways, but everyone else who's like, did they finally make a good Jurassic Park movie, which I think we need to give up on. Like, I would love if that happens one day, but let's give up on that notion. I feel like there's some franchises where fans are like begging for a good installment, but it's like when we're like 9 movies deep, or I guess 7 movies deep, not 9. I was thinking of Star Wars. It's just time to stop fucking caring, Like, I don't know. I hate to be that negative guy, but I'm just being a realist here. Like, this movie was not good. It was a step in the right direction in some instances, but overall, I just thought this movie was just a mess of just, what are we even doing? Not a fan. Let me know your thoughts, like, share, and subscribe.